Second try. Hi everyone, and welcome to Tales of Edeah, episode 19. I have no announcements, so unless you guys have anything you want to say before we get started, I'm gonna dive right in. All right. The Tower of Denos, a year of the new era. The Ashen Hearts have arrived at the Tower of Denos, a great wizard's tower, into which their quarry, Patrick Sordenbrand, seems to have ventured. At the same time, their attention has been drawn to the immensely powerful being that has been contained, if only barely, within the tower's confines. Now, their mission has become twofold. Find out whether Sordenbrand is still alive and available to be rescued, and their self-appointed goal, to find out if the collapse of the tower and the potential devastation that would follow can be prevented. The Ashen Hearts now find themselves prisoners within one of the tower's containment units, where a malfunctioning magical being has tried and failed to explain to them the rules of the tower and its own powers therein. Yet their time is running short, or is it running long, as every day spent near the tower makes it more difficult to guess how much time will pass in the outside world. We now return to the Ashen Hearts in their cells, small blocks of stone with basic amenities which seem to float out in the astral sea. Yet somewhere in the distance can still be seen that strange orb of unknowable scale which looks like a planet viewed from far away. 3 of the 4 Ashen Hearts are currently crammed together into one of these small cells. The light in the cell is changed from its greenish-yellow hue to a gentle flare of red once more than one person arrived in the cell. And outside of its southern door floats a figure that is humanoid, but only in shape. Its every body part is a shimmering mass of swirling beige, purple, and most of all green energies, like raw magic shaped into the shape of a person. Its face is completely flat, having no features at all, but its voice comes from a resonation deep within it. This is the tower's steward, Kiralos, and the last thing it said was in response to one of Barnak's questions. The exchange roughly went as follows. Barnak asked, "Is Lady Edeah also qualified to grant access rights to the tower?" "By default, she is not," the construct replied. Barnak asked, "By default? But what's changed?" And the final reply that you got was, Kiralos said, "I'm not permitted to specify." And then it broke from its programming again to say, "Ask me differently." And that's where we'll pick up. What would you guys like to do next? Cry in a corner. Give up.
I will. I'll pop up and I'll ask. Under which circumstances can Lady Edeah assess the danger of individuals?
I'm going to make a roll. Okay. It pauses for a good 30 seconds. You start to think that maybe it's ignoring your question altogether. Although it has answered every single thing you said before, even if it was just to say, "I cannot answer that." When suddenly that more emotive voice comes again, almost excited, and it says, if the extreme danger protocol were activated by Lady Edeah, it would grant me executive powers over the tower. You must find..." And then it cuts off and it writes itself again, looks curious once more at its own reaction, and just kind of hovers there, wondering, perhaps, about itself.
Lady Edeah is the one we talked to, right?
The lady.
Yeah, she's always the one.
Is Lady Edeah within the tower?
The lady was granted access, and it starts repeating several different numbers over and over again before it snaps out of it days ago, and is currently within the tower. Please return to your cells.
Is there a way for you to enable us to communicate more freely if we are all within our cells? That's the reason why we all convened in this one. It's impossible for us to communicate if we're in separate cells.
I can place you in adjacent cells, but there is a maximum occupancy limit of 1 per cell.
Could you bring Lady Edeah here?
Negative. The lady is currently unreachable.
If she's unreachable, wouldn't that be cause to switch to the overdrive to grant yourself access?
Extreme danger protocol can only be activated by the Lady Edeah or the Master.
Do you know where Lady Edeah is? What part of the tower?
The lady's last known location was Laboratory 1.
How far is Laboratory 1?
Two teleportations.
Are there any other circumstances by which your extreme danger protocol can be activated? Something that does not require direct input from either the Master or the Lady?
In the event that the tower's existence will be terminated, the protocol will also go into effect, but under different parameters.
And the current danger is not sufficient to activate the protocol.
Not yet.
Well, I guess we can sleep on it.
Well, if you could, I guess we could move to the adjacent cells if
Yeah.
that will enable us to communicate, and we are not in danger of the security coming.
Yes, please return to yourselves. I will aid you if you require it. So, barring any input from you guys, Kyrillos actually floats over to the top door on the cell.
I will ask to like specify that I can see all 3 of them once we're in ourselves.
It kind of looks around and considers that will not be possible. It is a grid of 3 by 3. One of you will be obscured from any position.
How so?
Well, it's literally just if you are, for example, in the top left 4 cells, then the top left and the middle can't see each other.
He can't make us into a T shape?
No.
Damn it.
Because it's not actually
'cause
moving the cells, it's just moving you to another cell.
No, but there's 4 of us, right? So if one goes down and one goes right, then the central should be able to see us all.
Yeah, the central can see everyone,
Well,
that's true.
no, if I sat here, I could, see those 2 and the person there.
No, I think if you just stay in the central on Chansey and then Barnek right and me down, I think that.
Yeah.
Well, essentially, we can make this fairly easy. Based on your inputs, you can be placed in the cell that you wish. Do let me know if you want to try anything while you're being transferred. But if you don't, then indeed, essentially the door opens, Kyrillos offers you a hand, and as soon as you touch it, stepping out, you see a sort of glowing tile appear beneath your feet, and it just keeps appearing until you're escorted to the cell that you wish to be in. So from pretty much all of you, that's just one step as you cross over into the next one. I will say, Jean-Jacques, as you look down, you do see, or down on the map, you do see a corridor leading away, presumably back to the tower. And I will say, if you get really close to the cell door, you catch not a really good view, but a glimpse of this enormous structure that just floats, but it doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't adhere to the laws of physics as we know them, and like geometry and all that stuff doesn't seem to be in effect quite the same way as it should be. So there's like weird portions that stick out, and there's like parts that aren't physically connected but that are still related to the tower and everything. So you are all in your individual cells. The lights return to normal. It is pleasantly warm. In fact, the temperature is almost exactly the perfect room temperature. You barely feel anything at all. As you enter new cells, the same thing happens that occurred when you first entered them. The teleportation circle in the corner activates briefly, and a plate with some very basic like broth in a bowl and a bucket of water appear, along with some writing implements to help you keep busy.
And if we talk currently, can I hear Tani and Barnack, or can I just hear Myra?
Currently, that would be only Myra, but I will say that now, you can kind of communicate well enough across each other that you don't have to do the repetition yourselves this time. Do you guys have anything you want to ask Kyrillos? Because otherwise he will be disappearing fairly quickly to go about some other business.
Just ask him, if we do have need of you, can we summon you somehow?
I am aware of your conversation at all times. So if you indicate your need, then I will do my best to provide it to you.
Kyrillos, what happens if one of us dies here?
There should be no reason to think that you will die here.
If it happens.
If it happens, then you will be ejected, and the cell will be cleaned.
Ejected where?
Just gestures for the empty space around it.
So nowhere in particular. And what if some of us, if we die, have some very important health conditions that can be only investigated in Laboratory 1?
I cannot understand your query. Please repeat.
What is Laboratory 1 used for?
Laboratory 1 was the site of the Master's research into conveyance theory for the last 200 years before his attention shifted away.
Can you convey me to Laboratory 1?
Negative.
Right?
Is conveyance theory anything we are at all familiar with?
Make an Arcana check. I think
I believe
if you are proficient in Arcana, then you can make the check.
I am.
Okay.
19.
Okay. It's an obscure term for the very that fits into a field around teleportation magic, plane shifting, and I would say with a 19, it's not impossible to deduce some connection to the elves' disappearance. It doesn't mean that you understand how or why, but there is a connection there between that theory, and in fact, that's probably how you heard about it. Reading about theories on how the elves disappeared, why they disappeared, and what they did to somehow get their entire race gone, no matter where they were, was an incredible feat, and no one's figured out how it's done, but conveyance theory was one of the ways that was suggested that it was done. Or rather, within that theory.
Heroas, what was the last known location of the Master?
The last known location of the Master was Laboratory 2.
And could you tell us what Laboratory 2 is dedicated to? Many twos there.
Let's see. It struggles again with answering. And this time it snaps its head back into place and says, negative. That information is restricted. Restricted.
I understand.
Unknown designation. Restricted.
And if this is also not restricted, are Laboratories 1 and 2 connected physically?
Negative.
Or, I guess, not physically. Like, would one have to pass through Laboratory 1 in order to reach Laboratory 2?
Negative. There is no location within the tower through which one must pass to access another, aside from the Nexus.
I understand. And do you know if Lady Edeah's destination was Laboratory 1, or did the teleportation system malfunction like it did with us?
The lady's destination was Laboratory 1.
Thank you.
It bows its head slightly and begins to float away.
When did you say Lady Edeah was here last time?
Ooh,
When have you seen Lady Edeah last time? Let's put it like that.
I have not laid eye... Sorry, no, that's not what they would say. I have not seen Lady Edeah in 12 visits.
How many days have passed since you've heard or seen Lady Edeah?
It kind of computes, and then it begins spewing off numbers, which it begins to correct immediately, but it seems to be somewhere within the 12,000 to 15,000 range.
12,000 days. No, can you remind us again, under which circumstances will these doors open for us that we can go about either through the tower or outside of the tower?
These doors will open if the Master returns and assigns you access rights, or if you destroy them. But beware, even partial destruction of a cell will result in its total disintegration.
Considering that we're prisoners, and of course we're not allowed to go about the tower as we wish, would you, upon our request, perhaps be able to eject us from the tower?
I may do this if your waiting time exceeds 7 days.
How many days has it been?
It has been 3 hours, 4, 7,
Days. Yes.
49 minutes.
No, 7 days. This is the 7th day we've been talking here.
Incorrect.
Valiant effort. Listening to this conversation, Kevin, if I focus on how much time has passed, do you get the same sense as Kirilos?
Make another intelligence check.
14.
You have the same trouble. You try to remember, and every time you arrive at a number, and then you're like, and then it's almost like the number changes in your head while you're thinking of it. So you begin to get a strange kind of insight into Kirillos's own struggles with keeping those numbers straight.
I don't have any more questions for him personally. I don't know about the others.
Barnak will go to sleep now.
Okay.
Wait. I'll wait for Kirilos to leave, and then I'll strike up a conversation with the group.
Okay. Kirilos will go and disappear into the corridor to the south. And you are free to strike up your conversation, and though it's harder to, have a direct conversation, you essentially talk through Myra, and for the purposes of our game, you can talk normally to each other. But Nikolai will send you a message before.
Okay. Do you think it's pertinent so that I should wait before I strike it up, or?
Possibly, yeah.
Okay, then I'll...
I don't like any of this. I don't have.
And then you're free to do what you wish.
What do those faces mean?
Looking at Myra, I'll just say, I think that there's a bit of a insurmountable obstacle here in the fact that, well, Lady Edeah is dead. Now, I don't know, do you know Myra when it comes to, you've met her. Are spirits of that nature usually tethered to that specific location, or can they move around at all? Like, in theory, would it be possible to perhaps ask Lady Edeah to come to the tower in her current form?
I mean, I can try. I tried casting sending before on the island, and it didn't really work. I could try casting it again, and I've never done it to someone who's dead.
But, do you have any knowledge about undead spirits? Like, I personally have not made that focus of my studies.
Not my specialty, but I can try to remember any information I may know.
If you wish, you can make a religion check.
Ooh, that's actually pretty good. Why does religion have to be intelligent? But it's an unnatural 20.
An unnatural 20. Okay. Sorry. I will say that, Myra, you can relate. Probably more. It's more freelancer training than directly religion. It just happens to pertain to the religious aspect of study. But spirits typically are indeed bound to a location or an object. They typically do have quite a bit of freedom to move around. It's just that it's not in their nature to do so. So it would require an incredible plea to achieve that, and you also are not sure whether the magical aspects of the island would impede that, or indeed are somehow affecting Lady Edeah, whether she is a regular spirit or whether she is something else entirely. Yeah. And other than that, I think, if Myra has her own ideas about how spirits work, she can definitely relate some additional information in that field, if she wishes, of your own making.
No, I'll leave them alone. So I'll relay the other information.
Okay.
While Myra's sort of thinking about that, I'll just kind of turn sideways and point a finger towards Barnak's cell. And I'll cast message. And I'll just say, "Can you hear this, Barnak?"
Yeah.
I'll cast it a second time.
Okay.
And I'll say, to activate the emergency protocol, Lady Edeah needs to place her hand on the matrix in the Nexus. I guess that's probably as much as I can say in the first message.
Sure.
And then in the second one, no, the third one, I'll say, as far as I know, considering the time that's passed, her hand's probably not in a state where you could use it, and she'd need to be alive. Third message. Fourth one. And I'll say, only very powerful magic could bring her back to life. And even that would probably be a bit too dangerous.
Yeah, Barnack's like, okay.
You can respond to this message.
You mean the glove?
Cast it another time. It's just an option. I don't think we're there yet,
Yeah.
but
How about this? We call him back and we tell him that. Well, we ask him how could we have found the tower if Lady Edeah hasn't already given us passage.
are you saying this out loud? Because I don't.
No, I just responded and then
Okay.
I'm like,
Okay. But I think for the sake of the group, maybe we can.
Yeah,
I can
yeah, I can-
continue.
yeah, we just-
I'll continue whispering to you on Discord, and then
Okay.
so we don't hog the.
Okay. So while those two, and I will say, Myra, you're the one who can be aware to the point that you see at least Jean-Jacques, unless you specifically try to hide yourself from Myra. I don't know if you would have thought of that.
Well, I said I did turn away so that I'm kind of
Right,
like
but you're standing
the
like
somatic.
yeah. Just wondering if you're visible at all, or if you're kind of out of sight.
Well, I guess that depends. Like, if Myra relayed the information and the kind of conversation kind of halts, then I'll like get out of view and to continue the conversation.
So yeah, then
If the group conversation continues, then I think this would be a little bit more broken up. Where
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay.
So I guess it's up to Myra.
Yeah, depends on if Myra or Tani have more to add, or if you want to get some rest or break the cell.
Sending you a message, and then
Okay,
and Myra's probably going to sleep for that.
nice. I mean, it's a cozy cell. It's not bad. It's what all jailers say, probably.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys made a choice.
I don't understand what he said. Ask me differently. That gives
I
me
think
that gives me enough hope that we can just ask something and be off with whatever this is.
Yeah.
Right.
eventually,
Why don't we just ask Kyrillos to be part of security team?
to what end?
Stop the reality from boom, whatever.
I think he's doing everything he can, or that he's permitted to. I think that's the problem. I think that, well, I don't know how many wizards you've known in your lifetime, but they tend to be a bit of a. Okay. Is that Elena and myself? Well, I'm not a wizard, but whatever. They tend to be quite paranoid, and I think especially at the height of power that Denos had reached, I don't think he left much room for Kyrillos to operate freely.
But something
Probably
is-
only time and the distortion of reality that's allowed him to do what he's done. I don't know, guys. I don't know what do you think? Things are right now, we might have to wait it out and try to go back to the lady, although I think that's not gonna work.
We could sleep, at least for a day. Rest up.
How would we know it's a day? Or just
Well,
when we wake up again?
Yeah, when we wake up, we can just say it's a new day.
I kind of look to Jean-Jacques. Let's go. I touch, not corporeal. Can you shape hand? If so, return. Can we shape a hand?
What do you mean?
Sending work, sort of.
Okay.
But she's not corporeal, so she can't put her hand.
Right.
If we can shape a hand, I mean-
As in, can we create a hand?
I mean, I have stone shape, but I don't think that'll work.
Well, I mean, because we're discussing resting anyway. I'll cast Disguise Self at myself at the first level, and I'll turn into Lady Edeah.
Okay.
So yeah, this is the best I can do, but this is not real.
Kyrillos, there's Lady Edeah's here.
No,
Lady Edeah's
no,
back.
fuck, Barnack, you can't see me.
Oh, okay, yeah, I can't see you. That's true.
Just
Also, he's
wondering
been
this.
listening to our whole conversation.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'll say.
I kind of call out to the fuck his name. Why?
Kyrillos.
Fuck, Edeah. I'll be like, hey, can I have like a stone disc for some art?
Though it doesn't appear, you hear the voice just in your cell, Myra. Please provide the specific parameters that you require.
I'll like do a stone disc slightly larger than a hand.
Okay. pretty much the exact disc that you're asking for arrives about 5 minutes later on the teleportation circle or pad in your cell.
Can't do this till tomorrow when I sleep.
I will also say that the desk and the bench in the corner are also made of stone, if you need more.
Wait. We can ask for a lot of things then here.
We have Lady Edeah's hand.
I guess that comes in quite handy.
I mean, he gives you a stone, disc, and then you ask for an arm and a hand. Like, come on.
I can make a stone version. It's the shape of her. It can be the shape of her hand. I don't know if it'll help any better.
I mean, the thing is, I don't know how he made the Nexus, right? I don't know what the control panel is. What's the word for? What would be an archaic word for programmed? Like, I don't know what would be a magic appropriate word for programmed. How he configured the arcane runes to function. If it requires a simple shape of an exact shape of Lady Edeah's hand, or does it require her essence in some capacity, or she, there are a lot of unknown. Yeah,
There's a lot of unknown, but all I got was shape hand. So, I just gotta hope it works somehow. I don't know how we're gonna get it there.
yeah, that would be.
Maybe he'll take it there for us and just place it on the.
So,
Kyrillos, can you step out of the tower?
there is a pause, a good 20 seconds, where you think maybe you're not going to get a reply before, again, that voice, monotone, goes negative.
So if I were to ask you to bring me something out of the tower, I would have to go get it myself.
This would not be possible.
So we are not to leave, even if we want to just go away.
Until 7 days have passed.
But in 3 days or 2 hours, total reality collapse might happen as well.
Possibly, according to current projections.
What's the current possibility? What's the current chance of it happening?
The current projection for total reality collapse is between 2 hours, 43 minutes and 16 seconds and 94,428 days. 94,671 days. 90,207 days.
Okay. Okay.
Do we at least rest? Since I'm pretty sure I have
Can
some
I-
serious wounds.
Can I get a bottle of ale then? Or a tankard. A tankard would be even better.
Okay, so a bottle of ale and a tankard of ale appear consecutively on your teleportation pad.
Perfect. At least 7 days will pass pretty quickly for me.
Good that you've taken care of yourself, Barnack. I'm real proud of you, buddy.
Um,
So I'm guessing you guys are going to go take a rest?
Yeah, but it hasn't been that long, right? So we still have a lot of, like, maybe downtime before we reach
Well,
a point where we can sleep.
It's really hard to judge because you already don't know how long your journey to the tower took.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you spent some time trying to get in. Then you were down there. And then you've spent a good, 2 hours almost in the cells now, talking and discussing and going over things. So it has been some time. This would be the equivalent of maybe going to bed at like 6 or 7 in the evening, according to your feeling. But it's not that uncommon.
Well, I'll just want to try something. Kiddos, you mentioned that we can get some reading materials.
There are some materials available.
Right. Do you have a list, perhaps?
I do not.
Um,
I will have to search depending on your preferences.
Right. Right. Could I perhaps get the user manual of the tower? Not the user manual, but I want to, the security specifications document.
I'm afraid those documents are restricted.
How about a history of the tower and the master?
Those tomes have not yet been created.
Anything on Timora?
Please wait. I will look. Okay.
Myra,
Yeah.
can you point to Jean-Jacques and tell him that I would like him to do the messagey thing?
I'll point at Jean-Jacques and Barnack's being weird. He wants you to send him a message.
Oh, okay. I'll send him a message. It's like, what's up, Barnack?
So, about the glove thing, I don't know how to use it. Maybe the total reality collapses because I use it.
That is very astute, Barnack, and quite potentially what would happen. Yes. I don't know how to use it either. I only know myths and legends about it. I don't know what to do. Exactly. Okay. I have a good idea, but
Ale then. Ale, and tomorrow morning we'll get out of this. Who knows? Yeah. Maybe it's 7 days tomorrow morning.
Well, it possibly might be.
Also, were you talking to Kyrillos while you were still in disguise self?
I think yeah. I haven't dropped it.
Yeah, and I don't see it. Shit.
So, barring, and by the way, a long rest here represents probably more talking and having these odd conversations throughout your rest than outright sleep, because like Nicola mentioned, you guys the sleep doesn't feel like it's that far behind. It's more just you take the time to recharge and get yourself back on your feet. Maybe you sleep a couple of hours, maybe you read a couple of hours, maybe you talk a few hours, whatever you guys want to be doing. But if that's what you choose to do, then indeed you can take a full rest, and nothing seems to disturb you during that time, and you can restore your resources to full, your hit points to full, and decide what you want to do from that point onwards. But I will ask you guys to roll one perception check during your long rest, just to see if you notice something in the background.
8. Do I roll? I roll my D100, right?
Yes.
21 perception.
21. Very good.
6 with a natural 1.
Oh no. Okay.
8.
8. Oh my god. You all did so poorly except for Tanya. Okay, Tanya, I'm going to send you a message.
So, at one point, I asked Chansey because it's the only person, but do you think we could have logs of all the people that have come into the tower just to see if Lord Swordenbrand came in? Because I really want to know if he's here. And that's it.
That's a good idea. I kind of like whisper, hey, is the logs of people who have come in off limits? If not, can I have them?
There is a distinct silence where you have the impression that you've been heard and there is a consideration to be made. The answer that you get is, I think that would be overstepping too far. I've already... And it stops. Negative. I cannot provide this information at this time.
But if they're not off limits, then I should have access to them as reading material.
There's just silence, but about 30 minutes later, a stack of paper about as tall as yourself appears in your cell. It has on every single page 4 columns of names and about 40 per column.
Oh God.
And there's like, yeah, so many pages. Also, Kira, did you see my message? Cool.
I did.
Cool. So.
Are they able to? Am I able to like pass stuff through the bars?
Yeah, it's a bit awkward, because you really have to like press yourself against and kind of push your arm through, and then you get a little stuck. It's not pleasant, but you can manage to pass small things through the bars.
I'll like kind of talk to them all and be like, got a list of everyone who's come in. If we divide this work, we might be able to see if Swordenbrand came in.
Is it in alphabetical order?
Actually, I don't know. I'll start like looking at the columns. Are they in alphabetical order or
There's
like
absolutely no indication. You asked for a list of the people, and you got a list of the people. You did not specify times, dates, or any other information.
Yep.
So there's no dates? So we don't know if the top is recent or if recent is the bottom?
I will say that the very first name on the very top page is Lady Edeah. Or rather, just Edeah. But she appears hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times.
Every log. I'll go to the last page. Does it have our names?
No, because your names are not known. So in fact, among the logs, both front page and last page, there are numerous unknown visitors. It strangely gets. You notice that in the middle part there are far fewer mentions of unknown visitors, or unregistered visitors rather. But both in the bottom part, maybe like this tall, you start to see more and more mentions of unregistered visitors, and then in the top part there's like a stack maybe this tall, where there's quite frequent mentions of unregistered visitors as well.
I'll like pass out stacks of papers though and see if they'll willingly help like skim through them.
Oh shoot! I just realized my Nightbot commands are not up to date.
Terrible.
I know, I'm a horrible person. Sorry, Chris. But hi. Anyway, so yeah, each of you can receive stacks from Myra, and essentially divide the stack in 4, so that each of you has something that goes just below your knee, except for Barnack.
I'll tell Myra to give me a disproportionately large number of paper compared to Tani and Barnack, because I'm assuming that I probably read a little bit faster than the two of them.
That's mean. But I definitely give you a little bit more. Definitely give your stack a little bit bigger than Barnack at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if each of you is investigating, go ahead and each of you make an investigation check to see what sense you can make of your papers.
Natural 20.
Nice.
Oh no!
Investigation
Natural
21.
1.
So you
Is
get
this
for
before
getting
arrest?
stack.
This is before arrest, right? Or during?
I was actually going to say you can do this during, because it's not the most intense. It's like it's the same as being able to keep watch while you're resting, you know.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, because if I'd spend a sorcery point prior to having them reset to reroll if I can.
I would say spending it during your rest would take it out of your next one.
The next one, yeah. Then I'll just take it.
Okay.
What do you get for taking the bigger stack?
Yeah, literally. And the arrogance.
Okay. So I heard natural 20 and natural 1. What did Barnack and Tani get?
In total of 7.
Mm-hmm.
21.
21 and 11. Okay. Okay. So what I'm gonna say is, it's Myra who identifies that in her portion of the stack, you probably kept the last part for yourself, right? You're just like heaving off of the top and then passing it out, roughly keeping track, like, you know, who had which bit. But in the bottom section, you arrive at the conclusion that that must be descriptive of you specifically, because on the very last page, which keeps drawing your attention back to it, there is Lady Edeah, and then 4 unknown registered visitors that enter the tower. So you deduce that it must be from oldest to newest at the bottom in this particular stack. Milosh, I'm going to send you a message about something.
Alrighty.
Yeah, you.
Okay. So yes. So, you have conducted your investigation. You can share your findings amongst each other. I mean, what I just told Myra, I assume, is being shared with the group regardless.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't find Sordenbrand here, but I have a familiar name on one of these pages. It's Karen Wynn. Can you Myra tell that to Jean-Jacques and Hani?
Yeah, I'll relay the information.
Yeah.
What's the name?
Karen Wynn.
Harenwen.
Yeah, I know who that is.
Wait,
And you should too.
wait, that's the elven lady that we freed, right?
Yep. Karenwin Zoleri.
Great. That's just wonderful.
But no Sordenbrand. I'll turn back into my cell so no one actually hears me, and I'll whisper, and I'll send you a whisper.
Okay, sounds good. How are you guys doing? I see many focused faces.
Did Barnack say this in general or like in a message?
The
No,
Karen
in
one
general.
bit?
In
Yeah.
general.
Okay, so does that mean that she came here recently? After we freed her? How recent?
No dates
Well, there's
here.
no way to know.
But Barnack's pile came from near the top. So
It makes sense that it was
suggests
4 times.
yeah, a long time ago. And it's possible names repeat as well, right? You don't have time to read every single one in super great detail. Like you scan and you try to pick out the name that you're looking for, or the names that you're looking for. But it doesn't mean that you've read every name perfectly through that. It's a lot of information that's coming at you. And from what you can tell, there was actually a great deal of different visitors that were allowed entry into the tower. Different people that had visitation rights of some kind.
I'll push my papers away and I'll start getting distracted and looking around.
I'll make a paper airplane and throw it at Myra.
Okay. Myra, you get a paper airplane thrown at you.
I mean the
Did-
paper bird?
Oh yeah, paper bird. Good point, good point.
I ball up a handful and just peg them at Barnack.
Okay. Do you want to make attack rolls for improvised weapons?
Well, I have
19
minus
on the
strength,
die?
so
Does 1 shame damage?
15. But I'm not trying to hit her. I'm like just
Oh no, I'm aiming for the head.
yeah. I'm just throwing some paper airplanes. Well, not airplanes, paper birds. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you start throwing.
Okay, so when you hit me, Myra, like you see that the paper basically just hits my head, and I turn around completely like phased out for that moment and go back to like a corner that no one sees.
So, I will say we're getting towards the end of your long rest, as you have time to investigate all of this, throw some paper at each other, and as the time begins to fade as well, another bit of food is teleported into your chambers along with another bucket of water for you to use. And if any of you had left anything on the teleportation pad, like any of the objects that had been teleported in the first place, they were also taken away.
What if we stand on the teleportation pad?
I don't think Kyrillos would activate them then.
Yeah. Well, Kyrillos spoke to me and told me that mortals never behave according to protocols, but I asked him that what if we did behave according to protocols, what then? He said that what if you have to break then something else.
What?
What if you have to break?
Oh,
Silence.
okay.
Do we
I mean,
just break free?
I think we can certainly try that. You know, we could just try and get out of our cells and find our way to Laboratory 1 or to where we need to go within the tower. It's just a matter of, can we do it quick enough to not get absolutely wrecked by the security team or the other things that live in the tower.
Wait,
Or disintegrated when the cell breaks down.
I think he maybe meant the cell will disintegrate. I don't know if we would, but maybe.
Wait, just a second. Kirillov said that there should be a security team on their way when we were in a single cell. Didn't he?
Right.
The security team wasn't here. And if the security team was actually here in the tower, it would be said that they were in the tower. We asked who's in the tower, and we only got that it's Lady Edeah and us. So if the security team is also like made of magic or whatever, let's just ask Kyrillos what they are. And if they're actually there. If they're not there, let's break free. We will have no security on our tail.
Yeah, we can try.
But if
Just one question before we... Sorry, go ahead, Kira.
Tony will just be wondering, like looking around, but what does break free mean? Are we gonna somehow open these doors and step out? But what happens if we step out in this space? We're not... And also, while we were looking at the papers, I confess, I wasn't really looking at the papers. There were too many words. But I noticed that, you see that planet? And I'll point towards that direction.
Yeah.
As I was looking at it, it looks like it was sort of revolving around the tower, as if the tower were the sun or something. You know? How... Yeah. It feels that way. So if we break out, would we float towards that? How do we get out of here and into the halls of the tower?
Listening to Tiny speak, Kevin, if I look at the corridor, is it connected to something?
It's connected to the structure of the tower that you've seen, yeah.
Yeah, right. And is it closed? Is there a door? Is it also barred, or are there just bars of the cells?
I believe that there's a bar at the entry, at the entrance.
Okay.
Quite similar to the bars on the cells that you guys are in.
Yeah. And if I look at the planet, does it seem like the planet is revolving around us, or does it seem like we're revolving around the planet?
That was what your perception check was for earlier.
Ah, okay.
But I will say, Tani seems quite confident in her assessment.
Yeah.
That the tower was right.
Sorry?
That the... and am I getting a tiny moment in real life? As if the tower were the sun, so that means
Yes.
that the sun is moving. No, wait. Not the sun. The sun stays still.
Yeah.
Well, technically, everything in space revolves around something. So
Yeah.
no matter
but
how you put it, right?
it looks like the Earth revolving around the sun. And you're the sun. The tower
And
is the
you're the
sun. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, long rest behind you. What do you guys want to do to break free of this conundrum?
Well, Kyrillos worded it like, if we break free, then security will come, but they will take a little while. It won't be quick. No, not quick, but it won't be
Immediate.
right away, immediately.
And Kyrillos also didn't mention that he would do anything to us.
Myra, when you sent your send-in spell to Lady Edeah, she said that we would need her actual corporeal hand or something, but did she say that she would come to the tower?
Let me double check. No, it was just broken up. It wasn't a full message.
Well, the way I see it, we have a few options, right? We could either try and break free and do our mission, right? Just disregard the emergency protocol altogether and try to get to the malfunctioning piece of machinery, fix that, and then, by way of doing so, fix the tower. We could try and break free and go to Laboratory 1 to retrieve Lady Edeah, what we presume to be, hopefully, remains. Or we could wait it out and leave.
He said we could return, but then
Yes, I mean, we could go to Plastitia and speak to Elena, tell her about the whereabouts of her husband.
Which we don't know yet. Because we
well,
haven't seen the name on the list.
Well, true, we haven't seen the name, but if Lord Soderbrand hadn't given a name, and we already knew that he hadn't because he didn't know. But there's a human in the tower that's not one of us.
Wait, above us, there's Lady Edeah on the list that you're looking at, Myra. Right? There are 4 of us as the last ones. The unregistered. Then there's Lady Edeah above that. And who's above that? Is there another unregistered one?
I'll check the.
The one, rather it goes below, but the one right after Lady Edeah is Denos himself, the master.
But there's no indication that Soderbrand entered the tower.
His name is not on the list, no.
Right. But, I mean, there are 4 descriptions after Lady Edeah that match us. There's no 5th description that matches nobody else.
There's Denos, Lady Edeah, and then the 4 of you. What you presume to be the 4 of you.
But Lady Edeah's ghost had his journal.
He did.
So he did pass through that. So does that mean that he didn't enter, or entered secretly, not through the way that we entered?
That will make sense.
I love you guys so much.
Maybe he'll tell us who's the last person who entered without having to look at these pages. Because if it wasn't actually Edeah, and they just said their name was Edeah.
Maybe Soderbrand tried the trick that Barnack and I had. Like, he did that rope thing, and that worked, maybe.
Do we know if Lord Sorgenbrand was, magic practitioner?
You're not sure, but considering the incredible prowess of his wife, you imagine that it would be hard to keep up if you weren't in those circles.
Fuck me.
What?
Oh my. I think Tani are maybe onto something. Why would he go to Laboratory 1 then?
Do the same thing as what we might try? To do the emergency protocol thing? But no.
That's
If he
only
was sneaking in, then Kiralos wouldn't have told him.
If the lady had died in the tower, why would she be tethered to that cliffside? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Fuck me. I know of magic that could help in this situation, I just don't have it.
Do you think
That's the
Kiralos had any books about that?
Probably, but they're probably restricted. And I don't learn magic that way.
I don't follow. What are you guys saying?
We believe, or Tani said, that maybe Lord Sorgenbrand entered the tower as Lady Edeah.
Hmm? Mm-hmm.
Because there's no registry in the paper.
May try something. You guys can just act like you're sleeping.
I mean, he can hear everything we're talking about, so.
That's true. Kiralos, my name is Lady Edeah.
There's no response.
I don't want to be in my own prison.
There's no response.
Kiralos!
Yes, unrecognized visitor. How may I be of assistance?
If you don't release me quickly, I'll go open the basement. And if I were not Lady Edeah, I wouldn't know what the basement meant.
Silence.
Kiralos, this human that's in the tower that's not with us, are they also imprisoned?
Negative.
And, are they alive?
According to our latest indications. Yes.
Could you, how are they roaming free if they're not allowed to be in the tower?
They are Lady Edeah.
See.
You're slightly surprised, perhaps, as the figure of Kiralos pops into existence right between Myra and Jean-Jacques' cell. And it turns to face you, Jean-Jacques, and the head is just slightly tilted like a curious child thing. But there's no expression. There's no follow-up. It just hangs there.
And you're not currently able to get in touch with them?
Correct.
He worked in his labs.
Kiralos, what would happen if your configuration were corrupted?
Unknown.
Would you be able to deduce anything yourself?
Please
Would you be
specify.
able- Well, In case of your corruption, who is the next person we can talk to?
If my protocols were corrupted, I would be disassembled and replaced by an identical unit.
Okay, you don't want that.
No one knows.
So there's an imposter Lady Edeah running around.
Incorrect. It was Lady Edeah.
Was. No longer?
Unknown.
And the security team didn't pick them up as soon as they stopped being Lady Edeah?
They were already in Laboratory 1. The power failed. They turned it back on. It caused disruptions.
When the power failed, did those monsters roam out? The ones we saw when we entered?
Among others.
Kyrillos, is the security team operational?
The security team functions, but it will require time to come into action. There are many units that require maintenance.
And who is maintaining these units?
The tower.
I'll speak quietly so that only Kyrillos can hear me now.
Okay.
Something can.
The rest of you just hear a vague resonance from Kyrillos as it answers Jean-Jacques, but in a way that only he can hear. So, Kyrillos remains hovering between the cells, kind of moving back and forth depending on who's talking to it. There's definitely some semblance of a, let's say, programming where it wants to be face to face with you if you're speaking to it now that it's here. But it's not moving to free you. It's not moving to do anything. So it seems the ball is in the Ashenheart's court.
Too bad we oh, man. When we're being transported between the cells, did he actually let us out and then we floated over to the next cell?
Rather, you got the impression that you required contact with him in order to interact with the floor that appeared between the cells. So if you had let go of him and tried to escape, you would have had to rely on your own dexterity and ability to climb on the outside of the cells, essentially. And you don't know how gravity works out there if he's not touching you.
Yeah.
Is Kyrillos still here? I don't want to say something with Kyrillos here. Sorry, Kyrillos. But
I can depart if you wish. It says that without even appearing to you, Tani. It just the voice just comes up.
And if we ask you to take us to Laboratory 1 to meet with Lady Edeah, who might not be Lady Edeah, we wouldn't be permitted yet.
You do not have access rights to the tower.
What about bringing Lady Edeah here?
Impossible. The lady is unreachable.
Okay. What about bringing the master here.
Impossible. The master has not returned to the tower in 44,400.
Yeah.
49,680.
Bringing
52.
that last person who's in the tower here.
Impossible. The lady is not reachable.
Mm-hmm. What about bringing a monster here?
You do not have permission to access that information.
But we fought them.
You do not have permission to access that information.
We did.
You do not have permission to access that information.
Did you take access from us?
You didn't. You do not have access to permission to access that information. That was my fault, not Kirilos.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, the malfunctioning of the tower and the teleporter that was malfunctioning still didn't give us any kind of access. We were just...
Correct.
Okay. And because we also
that
fought those monsters...
Sorry, could you ask again?
Yeah, go ahead, Kira.
Sorry. And this malfunction, does that happen when Lady Edeah entered the laboratory one at the same time?
There was a surge, but it was prevented from interfering with teleportation systems.
So what interfered with the teleportation system?
You do not have permission to access that information.
Of course not. Mm-hmm. So you can't bring monsters to us here. You can't bring Lady Edeah here, and you can't bring us there. How about teleporting the whole freaking cell and just placing the cells in laboratory 1? We would still be imprisoned. And we could talk to Lady Edeah, or somewhere close to laboratory 1, or just taking these cells and teleporting them anywhere else.
In theory, this would be acceptable. In practice, it is impossible.
Why impossible?
The cells are tethered to the tower, as every other part of the tower is as well. It is not within my power to undo such connections.
Okay, then one last question. If you were to take us from this cell block to another cell block, would it be through teleportation or would it be physical walkie-walkie?
If there was a need to take you to another containment unit, you would be teleported there. But there is no need, and it has never been done before.
But it is not restricted. It is not against regulations.
No.
But also it is not against regulations to take these cells and place them somewhere else, or rather keep us prisoners and just place us somewhere else. Is there a way for you to keep us prisoners and also take us to laboratory 1?
Negative.
That will have to be the master.
Correct.
What if we already got permission from the lady to roam about the tower?
Lady Edeah does not have the rights to grant permission to other visitors.
Except in extreme conditions.
If she activated Extreme Danger Protocol, then I would have the rights to do so. If you can find Lady Edeah.
Is her voice enough for you to for her to activate it?
Negative.
So her hand.
Correct.
And if we find Lady Edeah, okay. What if I know where Lady Edeah is? Can I go get her?
Negative.
But you just said if you find her.
If you find Lady Edeah, then she could activate the extreme danger protocol.
But I'm not allowed to find her.
The head kind of cocks to the side, and it seems that it's attempting something. Oh, nice. A voice that you don't recognize, but an elderly male voice, in Sylvan, in High Elvish, essentially, says, "Is it not better to ask for forgiveness than permission?" And then the head snaps back, and Kyrillos again seems perplexed by itself.
Did we all hear that?
I don't know Sylvan.
I would say Myra and Barnack.
Yeah, but I don't know Sylvan.
I only know Elvish. Probably like understand.
I told you the meaning because between all of you, like Myra, you can definitely relay it to Jean-Jacques and get the meaning easily enough.
It's definitely someone who knows like sister languages, repeating it.
Exactly, yeah. It's like Spanish or Portuguese, you know? Like you're repeating it in Portuguese when it should be in Spanish, and Jean-Jacques knows Spanish and he interprets correctly.
What I'm hearing is
it's vos, Myra. Not wuss, it's vos.
Tomato, tomato?
Tomato, potato.
I'm sorry for breaking into the for going into the tower. May I please leave now?
You must wait an additional 6 days, 16, 15, 12 hours.
Is there a way to speed that time up?
Negative.
Did Jean-Jacques tell us about this hallway? Down at the bottom.
Yeah.
I'll ask where it leads.
Of Kyrillos.
Yeah.
Okay. It says that hallway leads to the teleportation pad. From there, once you are granted access rights, you will reach the Nexus.
So we need to access rights that activate the teleportation?
That is correct. You have a distinct impression that the vibration of the voice remains for a few seconds longer, as if there is more at once to say, so it keeps itself engaged, but it doesn't say anything.
Is there a different way to navigate the tower other than via teleportation?
None that would leave you alive.
Can one avoid having access and simply use it without permission?
It is possible. It is an ever-present threat that one of sufficient intelligence gains access to the tower systems and manipulates them against our protocols. This is what our security is for.
But the
It'd be
security.
a shame if that were to happen.
Yes, it would be.
Yes, it would. And you... Well, actually, all of you roll insight.
Yeah, I mean, I won't, and I'll just believe what I want to
Okay.
believe, if you don't
That's
mind.
fine, yeah. You definitely don't.
25.
25. Milos? Okay. And Tani?
25 too.
Oh, wow. Okay. I will send you both the same message then.
While you write, I'll just ask the group. Can any one of us from Marcel get through those bars and into that corridor? By way of magic or anything else?
I don't think I can.
Well, I took stone shape, and those are stone walls. It's just getting us all there. which isn't the hard part. It's because I can get us all to your cell, Jean-Jacques. But that would be against rules, and I won't do that. And I like pointedly look at.
Of course not. We would never do. This is purely a hypothetical discussion.
I appreciate your cooperation.
Of course, Kirolas. If you were to do that, Myron, let's say you would need to have assistance in getting out of the cell and up to the wall, correct? You wouldn't be able to get yourself into that position.
Touch. I'm not long enough to reach through the cells to reach to the other side. But if someone were to escort us back to our cell and pass by a wall to that hallway,
You would like to be moved to another cell.
yeah.
Where would you like to be moved?
Yes, swap the two of us. Or because out of character, real quick, your thing Chansey requires vision, right?
Not when I set it up, yes. So I'll actually do that now between
You have to see, right?
me, Tani, and Barnack right now. So we're all affected by emboldening bond.
Okay.
Yes, could you switch Jean-Jacques and me?
Certainly. One moment, please. And Kirolos will hover over to the right side of Jean-Jacques' cell, move you into the cell in the bottom right corner, and then go over to move Myra, and then comes back to move you into the middle cell.
As he's doing that, if I, in my mind, simply think of moving faster, or hovering above the boards that appear, does anything happen at all?
Okay, so you get here. You have physical interaction with a floor, and you feel gravity. It keeps you there. Both of the cell doors are open, but as you think about specific alterations to this setup, you don't feel any differences in your interaction with the environment.
If I jump up, I'll just skip a step, as if I'm, having fun, whatever, and think of myself lifting up higher in the air. Does anything happen?
No. You feel no difference in the way that the environment treats you. Okay, so Jean-Jacques gets over there. Myra, you get helped down here. And then Jean-Jacques, you get helped into this cell. With your emboldening bond up, what would you like to do next?
I don't know how I'm gonna see how far I can reach across between the hallway and the cell I'm in.
Okay. Sorry, I was trying to figure out how far you could actually reach. I will say you get the impression that for an average-sized humanoid, these cells have been placed exactly far away enough from each other that you would have to be 8 feet tall and have extraordinarily long arms to actually reach far enough to touch anything on the other side.
Okay, good to know. And these are stone walls, right?
Yes, these are stone walls. Quite a nice.
I'll cast message.
Yeah.
And to Myra, I'll say, move down to the bottom door and ask him to move you either to the right or the left cell. That way, hopefully, you will exit right next to the entrance of the hall.
Well, I only have 9 minutes 30 seconds left on emboldening bond, so I'm gonna move Tani and Barnack first. I just go over with my great charisma and acting skill and go, I'm so stupid, and smash my head against the wall. I'm gonna hurt myself for being so bad, and like
Okay.
kind of hoping that Jean-Jacques will let one of them know too.
I'll yell out, "Oh no! Don't hurt yourself, Myra."
Okay, I'll just teleport to her.
Well, the thing is, do they have to be able to see you to teleport to you?
No.
Okay.
I just have to be able to see them as long as they're within 30 feet. So I'll like go to like one of the corners closer,
Yeah.
or like this
that's
wall.
easy enough. Okay. So yeah. So I will say probably with some visual signal from Jean-Jacques just to let them know exactly when it's going to happen. And you have your impact. Just roll a 1d4 twice, please. As you smack your head into the wall.
3.
Okay, so Barnack, you take 3 damage as you're teleported to Myra.
In 1.
And Tani, you take 1 point of damage as you too are teleported to Myra. And both of you smack your heads into the wall individually.
I'm going to drop Emboldening Bond and change it to Jean-Jacques, myself, and Barnack.
Okay.
And go, oh no, Barnack, you're not supposed to be here. How bad of you? And then go to punch him.
Okay.
In the shoulder, please.
Yeah, in the shoulder.
Okay. Well, you're not going to miss, so what's your strength modifier?
3.
3. So, Barnack, you take 4 points of damage. Oh,
Yeah,
no,
let it
sorry,
happen.
Jean-Jacques takes 4 points
No,
of
let
damage.
it happen. No, I'm kidding.
So, yeah, Jean-Jacques, you take 4 points of damage as Myra punches you, probably more in the stomach than the shoulder, since Barnack's shoulder is about at that height. You should have told her to aim a little lower.
I can look at them and like, look, we can jump that space, right? We're good at jumping.
I will say, by the way, the moment that 2 or more people occupied one cell, the light in the cell once again goes red, and Kirlos looks in, and that automated voice, and you might read a hint of reluctance in it, but it goes, "Please return to your own cell. Please return to your own cell." And it goes over to float to the other side to watch you better. So, what do you guys want to do? You're all in one cell.
It's gonna cost me my 2 highest spell slots. And I'm not
Well,
great
just
at
hope-
jumping, so I hope one of you 2 can make it over so I can teleport to it.
Yeah, but there are two.
I should be
two
able
sets
to.
of bars.
Yeah, that's why it's gonna take my 2 highest spell slots.
So it's okay.
Stone shape on our bars to...
Well, the bars are metal themselves. You mean like
Yeah,
stone shape the
but
wall around it,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Okay. Roll a spell ability check. So just a d20 plus plus your spell attack modifier.
11.
With your spell attack modifier?
Oh, with my spell attack modifier.
Yeah.
I just did my modifier. Not much better. 15.
Okay. Oh, that's good for you. Okay. As you begin to shape the stone and you manage to get it to a point where you can open the cell, you instinctively feel the stone itself. It wants to disintegrate. It wants to shift away from you and just leave. It's going away. And all of you watch as Myra's like shaping the stone, and hands on the side, and the door swings open, and you actually have to physically hold onto it to prevent it from essentially creating a almost like a diseased spot where the stone begins to rot away, because the whole cell wants to disintegrate around you. There's like a connection between you and the cell, and while you actually hold onto it, you're effectively holding concentration on keeping the cell from disintegrating completely. But the door is open, and you could effectively move through. So, Kyrillos kind of floats to the side, and just quietly repeats, "Please return to your own cell. Please return to your own cell."
I should probably do that then. I kind of broke this one. Sorry. That was bad of me. I'll see if he'll help me across so I can touch the other cell or the other doorway.
Okay. How do you implore it? Do you just take a step forward?
I just kind of like put my foot out and like my hand out to like, you're gonna help me across?
Okay. Roll a persuasion check.
I shouldn't be rolling charisma checks.
Keep in mind, you get the impression that if you completely let go of this cell, it will swiftly disintegrate around your friends.
Myra specifically, or
Myra specifically is currently the one holding this.
I will keep holding the cell, but like to where I can get extra length.
Yeah. Okay, so
14.
Yeah. Okay. Kyrillos floats forward towards you, and you come kind of face to face with this glowing, featureless entity, and one of the hands, which you realize now, when it's not using the hands are more like just slabs. They don't have individual fingers. You know, there's just a thumb and then 4 things kind of fused together, and just puts the hand on your shoulder and keeps it there, and it doesn't do anything else except repeat, "Please return to your cell. Please return to your cell."
Can I reach if I like lean as all possible?
Yeah, like basically if you keep one hand on the wall there and then go over to cast, but there is one problem, which is that when you cast your new version, you will break concentration on holding the cell together.
I kind of tell them, I kind of look to and kind of be like, can you help them get to their cells at one time? Like, just, like, can I just grab onto you?
Kevin, a question. We haven't seen Kyrillos disappear at all. Would he teleport away, or would he actually just disappear? Or would he just, like, walk away?
Well, you saw it float away through the corridor to the south, or at least that's what one of you could have told the others.
But float away, yeah.
It floated away, but other times it actually, like, it once popped into existence literally in the middle between all of you. As for your question, Myra, the head just kind of tilts, and it says, "Negative. I can only assist one prisoner at a time. Please return to your cells."
While this is going on, I pull out a piece of rope from my pack. I tie it around my waist and I throw it to Barnack and Tani.
Okay.
And I look at Myra. I'll have a brief moment in which I can propel myself about 10 feet. If you make the opening, I should be able to get in there, and then the rest can teleport to me, except for Tani, but I hope that I can actually pull her with me.
Okay, so Barnack, Jean-Jacques, and Tani become connected by rope.
Tani closer to me than Barnack.
Okay. So
And Barnack has a failsafe.
what is the next thing you guys do?
I reach over and break the wall down, and then try to leap for the thing
Okay,
with.
so you end up standing essentially
the
here,
help.
and there's a sort of almost archway underneath Kyrillos' arm where he's holding onto you, or it's holding onto you, and keeping space between you, at least somewhat cognizant of what your intentions are. And then, actually, I will say it probably briefly pops out, and you feel a strange lack of floor beneath you before it comes back when it pops up behind you and puts a shoulder on your, or a hand on your shoulder again. But as soon as you begin to cast the spell, indeed, you open the next part, and these bars just kind of fall away into nothingness. But as soon as you do, your grip on the cell itself just goes, and you guys watch as fairly slowly, but you watch as the whole wall just begins disintegrating, literally as if a disintegrate spell were cast on it, but slowly it begins to fade away. You think you have about 2 rounds to act here. So actually I would like all of you to quickly roll initiative, just to make sure that we are acting within initiative, but we'll start with Jean-Jacques regardless of where you are in the order, so that will determine how we go. Okay, Myra, what's your initiative?
14.
Okay, Jean-Jacques, 14.
3.
Tani?
Wow.
5.
5. And
5
Barnard?
as well.
Oh boy.
I mean, it makes sense. They're tied together.
And I mean, I have a 50-foot length of rope, so I probably would have done like, I guess we lose probably about 5 feet, I guess, or something, as we tied to each other. So
Yeah.
15-ish feet between us, or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. So, Jean-Jacques, you're the first to go.
Yeah, I'll leap forward,
Okay.
trying to jump over, and then as soon as I reach my apex, I'll cast Disguise Self at myself, turn into Lady Edeah, and then I will fly the other 10 feet and land, hopefully, in the hallway.
Okay. Just to double check, because I don't know the feature very well, it doesn't just happen on certain spell types.
It's a bonus action, and it's just
right? Like you don't have to cast a storm spell or something for it.
I don't believe so. Let me just double check as well, because yeah, after you cast a spell of first level or higher.
Nice.
So,
okay, so yeah,
just a spell.
you leap, and right as your foot lands, you watch as actually part of the ground right in front of you also begins disintegrating towards you and towards Tani and Barnack, who have to move closer. You know, even with the lengths of rope, of course, you don't want to get tugged suddenly. So you leap, and indeed you manage to make it through the opening and land here with your 10 feet of movement past.
And as soon as I'll just with the rest of my movement, because I don't know how much I've used, but the rest of my movement, I'll try and like drag them as much as I can towards me.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it
Which
pretty
is
much
not a lot, so.
pretty quickly becomes dragging as soon as you get to this point, where
Yeah.
the rope between you and I think you said Tani was closer, so
Yes, I
it
believe
would
so,
have to actually be kind of in this fashion. Sorry to move you, Barnack, but this, because otherwise the rope would not make sense. So yeah, at this point, Tani, you feel the rope go taut, and Jean-Jacques, I will say you spend the rest of your movement kind of pulling, but we'll see how that goes. Then Tani, it's your turn. As the cell is disintegrating around you, what would you like to do?
Can I jump in a similar fashion as Jean-Jacques?
Definitely. I don't think you would even have to make a check for it, because it's just a long jump. So yeah,
You're a monk, so you can make your long jump longer. If you
pretty
want.
much. So yeah, you take a big
trying
leap.
to land as close as you can. Not like here, but rather trying to aim.
Yeah. So there's not a lot of space, but rather what happens is Jean-Jacques, who was trying to, kind of, who pulled the rope taut and was trying to, make sure that you get the momentum that you need. Suddenly that rope goes slack, of course, as Tani jumps, and you feel that kind of pull back. Make a dexterity saving throw, Jean-Jacques, as you, as suddenly the force is no longer needed.
10.
Okay, you stumble backwards, but you just manage to stay on your feet, and Tani, you land and you start to stumble a little bit, and you actually have to steady yourself like against the wall, and maybe one hand on like Jean-Jacques. Barnack, the rope now goes taut against you as Tani leaps across, and it comes to your turn.
Okay, I'll just jump as well.
Okay. Yeah, I would say also again with a long jump, especially with your dexterity, or wait, is it dexterity or strength?
It's strength, but if it's only 5 feet.
Yeah,
I
it
think-
should be fine. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good. All right, so yeah, Barnack, you take the next jump, but I would like you to roll a d20.
Alright.
And a 1 would be the floor disintegrates right where you place your foot, because it has been advancing, of course, during this entire ordeal.
Oh,
And you're trying to leap from roughly the same place as Tani did.
so 1 is it disintegrates below me.
Yeah.
It's a 9.
Okay, so you're fine. It gets pretty close, and actually your foot, like, you push off on the edge of the cell where it's, like, moving beyond you. It's about halfway through the cell in the disintegration process as you leap across and you essentially get to the other side and you almost crash into Tani. But you do make it. And immediately the light in the hallway, by the way, as you guys land, it goes red as well. This flaring, warning red that occurs. Kyrillos continues to hold on to you, Myra, but it seems that your friends have all made it across safely.
I will try to make it across as well.
Okay. So you step onto the other side, and Kyrillos lets go of you, floating behind you, and it just tilts its head slightly, and you hear a muttered, "Finally." And at the end of the hallway, further down, you see a single teleportation pad, just like the one with the sigil on the ground that you saw deeper elsewhere in the tower.
Mm-hmm.
And a panel on the wall, which now requires some modification. So, who would like to take a crack at that as the hallway flares red, and you get the distinct impression that security is now certainly on the way?
Yeah, may I just turn back to Kyrillos and say, hypothetically, of course, how much time would the security need to catch up to us?
I'm moving to the panel as he says that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna help.
So
Okay.
I don't want to know the specifics. It's only a hypothetical question. No restrictions, hopefully.
There are currently 43 units still active in our security division, but 40 require maintenance.
3 minutes. And how much time would they need to get here?
Difficult to say. It will
Okay.
depend. But if you control, if you damage, change, edit the panel, then they will not be able to come here directly. Your way out is their way in. You must be quick.
Looking at the panel.
Okay. So in the meantime, as you're getting to the panel, go ahead and make an investigation check.
Alright, so Chansey said that
yeah, I'm
Myra
gonna
would be
help.
helping.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I imagine there's a bunch of help actions, so you can essentially assume these are with advantage from the group as a whole.
17.
17. Okay. It's easy enough to slide it open, and you're also presented again with this weird coded language, which looks Sylvan but is not per se. And you start to kind of interact a little bit with the panel. You start to realize that there are essentially, for our perception, it is it's a touchscreen. So you're essentially dealing with a touchscreen in a foreign language. But as you start to push and prod a little bit, there are several moments where you enter what seems like what we would understand to be a menu, and you try different options, and you watch as the color of the pad itself changes to just complete done, as there's no power in it whatsoever, to powering up again. And you think that at least you found a way to kind of reset it, but you'll need to make an intelligence check to see if you can actually get access to use it directly. Where
Intelligence,
yeah.
not Arcana.
Sorry, yeah, Arcana would be correct.
3 more. Very important. Okay, so I'll leave it at off,
Okay.
because well, I just look at the group and I say, alright, so if I can make this thing work, are we going to Lab 1, where we know that Lord Sordenbrand was last, or are we going someplace else?
Well, can you just give us permission so we can...
I don't know.
Yeah, we
If
just
not,
need. Yeah,
I
we
guess
just
lab
need permission. we need first permission to do everything else. So let's go get permission. So who can give us permission? Lady Edeah? Lady Edeah is in the
Lady Edeah can institute the emergency protocol that would then allow Kyrilos.
Lab 1,
yes.
Lab 1 then.
Lab
Yes,
1? It's also where the security was last known to be, but, you know.
That's also true. What about Nexus? If we
Nexus
go
is
there-
the crossroads.
Yeah, we could
All movement through the tower goes through the Nexus first.
then go to the Nexus.
Alright? Well, but... And then what?
I mean, if you can give us access to explore the tower, then that. But if not, Lab 1, I think.
Yeah, we'll check in the Nexus because remember, Jean-Jacques, if you can turn into Lady Edeah, we can try putting your hand there and seeing if.
I don't... We can try, but I don't think that will work, because I only appear as Lady Edeah. I don't have
I know,
her
but
physicality.
yeah.
Alright.
Well,
Next.
Jean-Jacques is Lady Edeah right now, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Alright. Nexus? Alright. I'll try the Nexus then.
Arcana check.
But 24.
Okay. You realize that things are not quite as difficult to understand, at least. There is a great deal of order to this, right? It's effectively a very structured language that has very limited meaning to it. So you are able to navigate that part easily enough. The problem is that your first few attempts come down to you do not have that permission, and you get the impression, or rather, no, you get to the point where you need to enter certain passcodes. So you're effectively hacking the system right now.
Okay.
But with a 24 and with some help from Myra looking on from the side, Kyrilos is in the back just continually going, please return to your cells, security will arrive soon, and watching you but not doing anything. But Myra, Tani, and Barnack giving their individual inputs and discussing what you guys see, and you giving clarity on what's on the screen. You guys do manage eventually to essentially trigger a reset, and as the screen goes dark and then comes back up, you manage to hit the F2 button effectively and get into the right setting where the teleportation pad suddenly lights up, and before you know it, all of you again feel that pull, and your perception changes as you move through this unknown space before being deposited in the Nexus. So, as you arrive in the Nexus, you find yourself standing in a round, lavish room. There's a beautiful carpet that covers the floor. There are terribly expensive looking tables and sofas up ahead, a rug in the middle, and around the exterior of the room are several bookshelves and other shelves that could contain other things but don't, as well as other teleportation indicators on the ground, of which only 3 currently appear to be active, one on the right and one at the top. There are also identical circles around the central portion, which currently seem inactive, but as you arrive, all 4 of them flare up, and you watch as, with a sort of shimmering delay, shapes appear of 4 large golems.
Oh no.
Should have given us access first.
I can't do that.
You try.
So Kyrilos floats to the side.
First.
Yeah, and solemnly announces security has arrived. And I would like you all to roll initiative.
Fuck me.
In this case, you can roll initiative on roll 20. Let me just reset the previous one. Yeah.
I'm gonna roll it in real life, and then I'll. Roll
Yeah,
it
that's
in.
fine. But yeah, don't forget to select your token when you roll.
Yeah, well, my natural 20 got me a 19 overall.
Oh boy.
Why won't it let me change it?
That was a natural 20, 23. No, I don't want to be first. Oh, okay. I'm not first. Great.
I mean, forever.
Myra's
to
at
change it.
19 and good. All right.
Two
So,
natural 20s.
Barnack, as you all take in the room, have a moment to breathe, and the golems appear, you're the first to act. What would you like to do?
I'll put my hands up and say, "Security, we come in peace." And then I'll take my bow and say, "But you'll go in pieces," and just shoot at the first one twice.
Yes. Fuck yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot to note one thing. A lot of the paintings around the room are all paintings of the Lady Edeah and her husband, Denos, together.
Do we recognize him?
Yes, you recognize both of them. Well, no, you don't recognize him,
Yeah.
except for Jean-Jacques. But Lady Edeah you all recognize. You saw him outside at one point.
Okay.
So you
Yeah,
shoot
I'll-
at the which one? Top.
I'll shoot the right one, the one near Myra.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll shoot twice. Well,
All
first I'll put a hunter's mark on it.
Okay.
Actually, I won't put a hunter's mark on it. I'll designate it as my prey
Okay.
because it's basically the same thing without expending a spell slot.
Pray on
So
me.
two shots. With sharpshooter. Well, let's see first one with sharpshooter, and then we'll see the second one. Okay, that is in total 18.
18 hits.
Okay, I'll shoot another one immediately then.
Okay.
Okay, that's better. That's 19
Okay, also hits.
in total. Yeah, in total.
Yeah. With sharpshooter, right?
With sharpshooter. Yeah.
Don't forget to add your plus 10.
Yeah, this time I won't forget to add that. Nope.
This whole time. This whole time.
Yep.
Well, it was fine on roll 20. It's just that, yeah.
Yeah.
There, you forgot.
So plus 20 in total. Okay. And no.
Yes,
no,
plus 20 to the total.
No, plus 28 because I have plus 4.
Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's actually pretty good. So, well, at least one of them is. So that's 10 in total, and 9, that's 19, and plus 28, that's 47 damage.
47 damage.
Holy shit.
Barnack the Slayer
Damn, son.
unleashes. So as you fire off 2 arrows, perfectly placed, you actually, as they appeared and began to turn, there was steam coming out of several outlets, and you managed to clog 2 of the outlets with your arrows as it like kind of breaks them as well. And as they do so, you watch as suddenly the hydraulics that allow it to move begin to seize up, and it tries to move and it wrenches free, but there's a huge outpouring of steam, very hot steam that fills the room as this one is quite severely damaged from Barnack laying into it.
And I will just, yeah, I'll just stand there.
Okay. Okay. Tani, it's your turn.
So which one did Barnack damage?
The right one from you.
The right one. Okay.
Yeah.
Could have sworn it was the left one. So I think it says the Eldritch Maul thing says once used, this bonus action can't be used again until the next dawn. It hasn't passed.
Ah, that's interesting.
Right.
Roll a D100.
Oh, glad I asked. 84.
Okay. You briefly consider activating it, but you feel that its power is not yet fully recharged to be used again.
Okay.
It's close, but not yet.
Then I'll run towards this one and try to like push at his like slam at his chest if I
Okay.
can.
Okay. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
Let's see. Oh. 27 to
Okay.
hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Okay.
Okay,
that's
so
nine.
you deal 9 bludgeoning damage, and you take
Whoa.
let me check. You take 4 points of fire damage, as
Okay.
the steaming hot outside of this entire thing, it seems to be powered by some kind of boiler, and it's just heating up the entire creature. So as you hit it, you feel like, even though your punch is magical and you deal damage to it, you just feel that the heat is too strong for you to resist. You have another attack and a bonus action.
I'll switch to maybe with my boot instead of my direct hands.
Okay.
12 to hit.
A 12 does not hit it. So as you go to kick it and you attempt to connect, you realize that as your foot comes close, even before it connects, it's already too hot. And you realize that it would harm you if you hit it. So you actually, I will say, rather than missing outright, you choose not to hit it there, as it would not protect you any more than punching.
And I'll jump a little bit back.
Okay.
Don't want those fumes on me. And
Okay.
that's it.
All right. Myra, it's your turn.
Seeing that like Honey pulled back the heat, I'm just gonna stay away and cast Secret Flame
Okay.
on the one they've been beating up.
All right.
Dexterity save
Oh boy.
from these guys.
That is going to be a failure. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Ooh, 20 points of radiant damage.
20 points. Wow. So as
Yeah.
the column of radiant fire comes down, and here, finally, thankfully, you see it properly again, and you look up, you realize this chamber is quite tall, and there's actually a whole other row of paintings, again, of some landscapes, some important looking people, and then some of Edeah and Denos together. You obliterate this first one, and it crashes, or rather it doesn't fully crash, it kind of just seizes up, and the head just comes down, and it just blows out all the steam, and you watch as the chest briefly heats up red and then just settles into nothing.
I'm gonna stand over here. Actually, here.
All right. So that is Myra. Jean-Jacques, what would you like to do?
I will. That's the one that Barnack hurt as well, right?
Yeah, the one that's now down. Yes.
Okay, so I will move my 30 feet to here,
Okay.
and then briefly glancing over to Kiros, I'll say, I'm mighty sorry about this, but then I slam my hands together, and, there is electrical energy and wind starts erupting from my hands in a circle, and I'll throw it out, and I'll cast Storm Sphere right here.
You just hear a panic. No.
Yeah, I'll just I'll cast them more towards these two. Fuck it, I'll just encompass them both fully. And yeah,
All the furniture.
If none,
And
Right.
all the furniture.
and all the front, yeah, that's bridge is blocked. And then I'll shoot a bolt of lightning at this one that's closer to us.
Okay. So that's a saving throw for them right now, or is it at the start of their
No,
turn?
when they start their turn
Right.
in it or end it in.
Right.
Let's
So-
just double check, but I think it's strings. Each creature in the sphere, when it appears or that ends its turn there. Okay, so yes.
Okay. Yeah.
They make a strength saving throw or take damage. And
Okay. So
18
top
DC.
right one is gonna be okay, the top right one succeeds. And the other one also succeeds. Apologies.
So, I
Um,
mean,
so as you put your hands together and you erupt, or you allow this orb of storms to erupt, the entire, like in one blink of an eye, all of the furniture, the beautiful, probably quite old furniture, is just ripped to pieces, and all the small parts just start whirling around in this tempest indoors, and they begin to impact the creatures, but they just push aside the larger pieces and don't seem very phased by its presence at all. I think you make an attack roll for the extra lightning.
correct,
or-
yes,
Yeah.
I do. It's 25 to hit.
That will hit.
And it takes 14 points of damage.
Oh, 14. Hot diggity damn.
Yep. Diggity.
All right. So yeah, unfortunately, the two further away are unaffected, but indeed the lightning does strike, and you watch as the lightning, this foreign element impacting the huge brass body, just makes it also briefly seize up, and it wants to move forward, but there's just these crackling bits of lightning across its torso that prevent it from doing so.
And it seems effective, right? Yeah.
It seems effective, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Let's move on to the golems then, who effectively share a turn here. So I'll just go through. The nearest
difficult terrain for the ones that are in.
Yeah. So the nearest one's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. It's going to get into melee with Tani and Barnak, and these two are going to step away. So it's going to be 10 feet to get out effectively. And then, well, 10 feet, 20, 30, and then it's going to use a dash action. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to get to there. This one's going to do the same. 10, 20, 25, 30. So they come out of the storm sphere and then begin just rushing over, and you watch as these enormous bodies, like 12 feet tall, just stomp towards you like charging bulls. And the one that actually gets into range with Barnak, it will make one of its slam attacks, and that is a 21 to hit you, Barnak.
Me? Yep, it hits.
Okay, and second attack is is not enough. That's 10 to hit. Oh yeah, okay, and it will deal 1d8. I don't have no d8s. Okay, here we go. It will deal 4 points of bludgeoning damage, and it grapples you. So essentially it slams down on you and it just crunches you and then lifts you off the ground slightly. And let me see. Yeah. So okay, good. And then it will end its turn there. The other two already moved, and we come to Barnak. It's your turn. You are grappled. What would you like to do?
I'm grappled and I can try to wiggle out.
Yes.
But I don't have any disadvantage on attacks against someone else, right?
What do you mean?
If I were to just try to shoot at this.
You always have ranged attack disadvantage as long as someone is within 5 feet.
Oh, so even if
Yep.
they are in 5 feet. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they're like interfering with
Yeah.
No.
Okay, then I'll try to wiggle out of their arms.
Okay. That will be acrobatics or athletics check.
Yeah. Now I will use my.
Actually, no, sorry,
Acrobatics.
this is athletics. Apologies. Because there's acrobatics is only to avoid if you're countering a grapple.
Okay. Athletics it is then. That's a natural 1. That's 2 in total.
I know.
But if you have, don't you have inspiration from last session?
No. I used it, I think. No, I
Okay.
didn't use it. Let me check. I have it written.
That is important.
down. I do have inspiration. Okay, I will then click on that and try it again.
Okay.
Thank you. And that's a 19 in total.
19. You do break free. So you actually manage to, like, you take a hold of one of the large fingers that's wrapped around you and you're trying to push it open and then get the next one. And you get to 2 and it actually almost snaps shut again. But you just manage to push your bow in the way because your bow is unbreakable by mere physical force. So you manage to push and nudge the or wedge the bow in place, and then you manage to push open the others and you fall free to the ground right next to it.
Okay. Okay, let me just see. Yeah, I don't like being here at all. And it's going to grapple me again. Yeah, I'm just going to run behind Myra here.
Okay. Okay. Bless you.
I don't know why you think that's a good idea. I've almost died like 3 times already.
I'd rolled a natural 2. So, as the fist tries to slam down again in order to grab you once more, it fails to hit you and it just hits the ground, sending a tremor through the room.
Okay. And my strength check was the whole action, right?
Yes, that is your action to escape.
Okay, then I will just move my Slayer's Prey mark, let's call it like that, onto...
Is it movable like a hunter's mark?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, it's not movable. It's you can use your bonus action. Let me read it out loud one more time. So it lasts until I finish a short rest or a long rest, and it ends early if you designate a different creature. But I don't have any limits to how many times I can use it.
Oh, okay, nice.
So basically that one ended, and then I will designate the one that attacked me.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah, I'll stand there where I am.
Okay. Very good. Then next up is Tani. What would you like to do?
I'll say it loud. I can't get too close to them. Their steam is too hot, but still, I'll try. And...
Oh, sorry to interrupt. Did I get any damage from the steam?
Nope.
While I was grappled?
Nope.
Okay.
That's okay. But anyways, is this dude with his back toward me or looking towards...
No, they're all looking towards you guys.
Okay.
Yeah. It's looking mainly towards Barnack, but it doesn't, it's not like ignoring you.
Okay. So I'll jump like sort of behind him so that I can maybe kick at the back of his knees, maybe.
Okay. Do you want to try a targeted strike?
Yeah, targeted
Oh,
strike.
okay, yeah.
Must be fun.
Yeah, because I think if you use your bonus action to flurry of blows, you can also do this as part of your way of the open hand. Okay.
To make him sort of prone, maybe.
Yeah. But that only happens on the bonus action attacks, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
When I
24
spend
hits, so that's your normal, their first regular attack is a 10. Wow, you're rolling so high on these damage dice.
Yeah,
crazy.
max roll.
There's only 1d6.
Yeah.
17
17 also hits. So you begin laying into him. I will say for each of these, you do take damage. So the reason Barnack didn't take damage is because you're not actually close to the torso. It's the body mainly that's hot. That's 6 points of fire damage for the first attack, and 5 points for the second. So 11 points of fire damage to you, Tani. But you do deal significant damage to it, and in fact, as you're punching it, you feel the metal bending under your attacks. Like you're physically making dents in this golem creature. So if you spend your key point, you have 2 more attacks.
Yep. And let me just check if they need to roll anything for them to be prone. I think so. It must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or be knocked prone.
Okay. And what's your DC? Your monk DC?
14.
14. Okay. So that hits. So I'll make this. That's cocked. It was a 16.
Okay.
It was cocked. Oh, that's a 19.
And then the last one, 17 to hit.
Okay.
That hits, right?
So that also hits. Okay. So on the last one, you managed to. So you're just wailing away at the knee joint for this creature, and it shifts part of its weight away. So you kind of have to move around a little bit, and you hit again, and you hit again, and 2 times you hit each knee, but then on the last hit you manage to just crunch through and push it so far that it falls prone onto the one knee that's still good. So you dealt additional 12 damage there, and this one is now currently prone, which actually makes it more resistant to ranged attacks, funnily enough. Oh, and for the last 2 attacks, you take. That's not 8 points of fire damage and 7, so 15 points of additional fire damage. Yeah, I rolled really high on those. I apologize.
And I'll step back again, like, too much.
Yeah, so Tani comes away with like burnt fingers, but does bring one of these things to its knees. And then we come to Myra.
Sacred Flame on the one that's prone.
Okay.
So another dexterity save.
Yeah, and it makes its dexterity save at disadvantage because it's prone. Oh, that's a natural 4, so I definitely failed.
Flame on.
Ooh, max damage. So what did I say? It was 15 last time, so it'll be 16 this time.
Yeah. Wow. And you do you add your
Last time you said 20.
Wisdom
I did
as
20,
well?
so it's 21.
Yeah, I was about to say because you add your wisdom.
Wait, no.
Right?
I did the math for my dice last time, which was almost max damage.
Yeah. Okay, so as Tani darts away, leaving one of these things on the ground, again, Myra, you call to your deity, and this column of holy fire comes down and just incapacitates another one, which once more, this one now on one knee, partially covering the teleportation sigil that you guys came through, just falls unconscious. No, it falls inactive there, as it's also is hurt badly. Okay, would you like to move anywhere, Myra? Okay.
Yeah, like right in like that little.
Okay, Jean-Jacques, your turn.
Okay, I'll first move, and then using my bonus action, I'll target the left one here with my thingamajig.
Right.
The 23.
That hits.
It takes 12 points of damage.
Whew.
And then once again, I'll trace my fingers through the air in sort of like a circular motion, and there will appear like a disc of arcane runes that symbolize various types of energy, and that disc will then split into two, sort of like mirroring the both sides of the coin that I had made for Timora. And then I'll send level 1 twinned chromatic orb at each of the creatures.
Okay, that's
and
attack
I
rolls,
will
right?
designate. Correct, yes, and I will designate the damage as acid.
Okay, interesting.
So left one first, be an 18, and
18
right
hits.
one will be a 17.
Also hits.
So they take 3d8, I believe. 3d8 damage.
It's a 6 spell to twin.
Yes, that is 13 points of acid damage to the left one.
Oof.
And 10 points of damage to the right one.
I don't think chromatic orb does that much damage. 3d8 at level 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. My wizard hasn't, but gave away their diamond to the bard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not very clever. Always hold on to your diamonds.
Yeah, it's cool. The only thing is, like, it is an attack roll, so until you have a decent enough attack roll, you're kind of with my modifier. It's really good.
So upon casting the spell, do you want to use your 10 feet of movement extra to go somewhere?
I cannot, because I need to use my bonus action for that.
Right. My bad. Okay, then on the golem's turns, it's going to place itself right in the middle here, and it is going to attack Myra with both of its slam attacks. Wow, this got cocked off of a natural 20. Okay, so the first one is a miss, and the second one is a natural 3. So both miss. I will say one punch or one slam probably just hits the ground next to you as you sidestep it, and then the second one you kind of duck, and you have your shield equipped, right? So you just absorb it on the shield, and you feel the vibration go through it. And I will say, Tani can't see, but Jean-Jacques, you are witness to Myra just absorbing a blow from such a large creature and just remaining on her feet without issue. And the other one is going to 1, 2, 3. That's going to move here and slam Jean-Jacques twice. Or attempt.
Oh boy.
There's my natural 20.
Motherfucker.
And the second one is a 23 to hit.
Both will hit.
Okay. Well, it had to happen one time.
If I see how long has it been since I used my emboldening bond?
Definitely 10 minutes because you guys had the whole hacking scene. You had to go through.
I wasn't sure how long that took Jean-Jacques.
No, definitely. Yeah, you were hacking the planet.
Yeah, the planet.
Man.
That show, man.
Okay. 15. So I'm doing both attacks together.
I'll split them because of my concentration. Just in terms of damage.
Right. So then we will have the first one, the non-critical one, is 8 points of bludgeoning damage, and the second one is 17 points of bludgeoning damage.
Well, thankfully, actually,
it's a 10.
I'll use my reaction to re-roll my first thing because of my thing magic that you know of. So that will then succeed. And the second one you said was how much damage?
Also a 10 DC. It was 17 damage.
Yeah. Wow. Managed to roll another one.
Oh my god. That's terrible.
Oh, the Star Sphere drops. Oh my god.
Okay. I will say everyone has to make a dexterity saving throw as the sphere drops and all of the debris gets thrown into all the corners of the room, including these creatures.
There's a natural 20.
Nice. So they've
saving throw, you said?
Yes, saving throw. And
15 in total. Wait, no, 16 in total.
So for this DC, we'll take. I'll roll the DC actually. Okay, that'll be a 10 DC. It's not that hard.
Fucking lovely. I got a 9.
Okay, so 9. I'm guessing Tani succeeds, Barnack succeeds, and Jean-Jacques failed.
No, I rolled a natural 20.
Oh, you rolled a natural 20. Right.
Yeah. Now I rolled a natural 20.
So I'll say for this it'll be.
You get cover from
10...
this big golem.
Actually, yeah, I would say so. So you'll take 5 damage of the 10, and everyone else succeeded. So, yeah. So everyone else succeeded. So Barnack, you take 5. Tani, you take 5. Jean-Jacques, you take 0 because you're behind 1, and you have succeeded on the saving throw. And the other 2 take the full damage. So the majority of the damage was still borne by the golems, as several spiky parts of the metal that was in these tables and everything just gets impaled into their chest and into their torsos.
Does Tani also get 0 from her evasion?
Oh, that's a good point. Tani has. You have you got the evasion? Or is that level 9?
Yeah, I think evasion is
7.
7. Yeah, level 9 is climbing the walls. That's what we were
right. That was
about
that.
last time.
Yeah. So yeah, then Tani, I will say one bar that was holding up one of the couches comes flying straight at your head, and you turn Spidey sense at the last second. You look it in the eye, and then you just dodge to the side, and it embeds itself in the golem behind you.
Nice.
Okay, so that was both their attacks. We come to Barnack.
Okay, so with my bonus action, I'll again move the thing, or rather create it on the other one. The 2 of them which one was damaged by Jean-Jacques?
Jean-Jacques hit both, but the most left one is the one that got hit by the last lightning bolt.
Yeah, so it was damaged. The left one looks more damaged.
Honestly, from your position, you're having a hard time telling because it's behind 2 others.
Yeah, I'll move so that I have clear shot to both of them.
Okay.
And the one that looks less damaged, I will shoot at that one.
Okay, so to the one closest to you, I would say.
Yeah. Okay. So 2 shots again with sharpshooter, and that one then gets the prey thing.
Yeah.
The first shot is 15.
15 hits. They're very large and not very dexterous.
Yeah. Okay, so 15, and the second one is 21, I believe. 20.
That also hits.
Yeah, 21. Okay. So, my dice. Just a moment. I've lost my D8 completely.
I know that feeling.
Oh no, I just don't see them. Okay, so D8s, 2D6s, and 28. Oh wow, that's not that good.
Okay, so give me the first attack first.
Okay, so the first attack is the blue dice. So that is 4 plus 14, that's 18 damage.
Okay, so that hits. A whole gout of steam just comes pouring out of it, filling the air, and honestly the whole room begins to fill up with this uncomfortable hot steam that's pouring from these creatures.
Okay, and then the second one is 23 damage.
Wow. So with the second one, you identify the largest outpouring of this steam, and you send your arrow straight into it. And for a moment, you think nothing has happened, until suddenly the whole thing just kind of jerks unnaturally for how it normally moves. And like the head just turns around like an owl's. It just turns completely back on its body and tries to look at you, and it tries to move and get up to get towards you, but the hydraulics completely fail, and it blows out all the steam inside of it, and then collapses forward with a loud crash, which none of you see because the whole area becomes obscured, and you now effectively can only see about 10 feet ahead of you.
Okay. And yeah, so I was here. I would say that I could get here and then like here, just to be behind the one that was
That's fine.
down already.
Not a problem.
Yeah.
Alright. Tani, your
So
turn.
it's dead?
Yeah, it's dead.
Oh,
I
okay.
just Need to add the X. So Tani, what would you like to do?
Okay. With all the steam, I want to step back a little bit and use this turn to recover a little bit. I'll use wholeness of body.
Okay.
Because I'm at...
It's going to make its opportunity attack against you.
Mm-hmm.
At a 20 to hit.
Oh, that definitely hits.
Okay. That means you don't actually manage to step back, because it grapples you on hit.
Jeez, I shouldn't have done that then. But because of the steam, I was like, oh no.
Yeah,
Unsure
I consider that as well, but I'm like, actually, that's why I specified if you're close, then you can still see each other. Yeah. So it deals 8 points of bludgeoning damage to you as it just like smashes you down and then just grapples you in place.
How much?
8 points of bludgeoning damage, and then you still have your action and your bonus action to do whatever you want to do. So you could try to break free immediately, but you can also attack if you want.
Yeah,
or use your... Okay.
I don't
then athletics check, please.
Athletics. Don't fail me. Athletics. And it did.
So
Let me spend my last inspiration point.
Okay.
I have just one more. I want to escape.
I sent you a DM, Kev, about the check.
8.
Still pretty low rolls, but...
Yeah, but it's not a standard grapple.
Ah, okay, sorry then.
It's a creature grapple. Like they hit, they grapple, and then they have a DC.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's really unlucky, Tani.
Mm-hmm.
So as you're trying to wriggle free and you're trying to push these massive fingers away, it's kind of holding you just like right in place. You can't find any purchase, and it's actually the steam itself that's it's making the surface slick, and you find your hands just sliding off of the brass and bronze, and it stops you from getting free. You still have your bonus action if you want to do your wholeness of body, I think. Right? That's an action or bonus
It's
action?
an action.
Oh, unlucky.
I'll just look around hoping nobody saw this embarrassing movement I just did.
Okay. 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 I will say you can spend a key point to do a dodge bonus action, I think, but that's up to you. Just let me know if you want to do that. Myra, come to you.
Yeah, I'll do that much.
Okay, sounds good. Make sure to mark off the key point.
Flame.
Okay.
That's what I'm good at.
Sacred flame falling down upon you from the sky. Sacred flame.
It rolled a 10, so it fails again.
Okay. 15 points total.
Can you not roll this high? That's
Are you
was
sure you
really
add
high.
your
She
wisdom
does.
modifier,
You
Chansey?
Yes, because you, Nicola, when you had control of Myra, told me about why she adds her wisdom modifier.
Ah, right, yes.
Potent spell casting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
It is
so
insanely good for cantrips. Jesus.
Yeah.
I like when I first rolled the first Sacred Flame, I got a 7 and 8, and I'm like, oh shit, I could add 5 to this.
Yeah. Disgusting.
Why do you add it? I'm just curious because I never played clerics. You had your
Class feature.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
in the chat.
Oh
yeah.
god, that's good.
No, for the peace domain, it's their automatic class feature, and then it's optional to change it with something else.
Nice. This is perfect.
But
Okay.
this is
Yeah.
the better of the options.
So, Myra, I'm guessing you don't want to move, or do you? You did see it take an attack of opportunity, so technically
Yeah, that's true.
you have that information.
Can I like walk between these two?
I would say no, not as it's struggling and holding people in place. Like they're very large and they kind of. I mean, I would maybe allow it with a dexterity check, but you might hurt yourself on some.
Yeah, I'm not gonna dexterity. I see that it's like too high of a step to like walk over. I'm just like,
Yeah.
ah.
Yeah, and also the steam and the heat.
Yeah.
It's not comfortable.
Oh,
Okay, so you make it just
away.
beyond the cloud, and you actually see Kirlos still standing a bit away. Very human-like.
That thumbs up.
It's just wringing its hands together, and it's watching, and you just hear it like, oh no 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 no, oh no 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 no. It's just freaking out.
Yeah, I just give him a thumbs up on my way by.
Jean-Jacques, it is your turn.
Jean-Jacques is gonna do something stupid. So, holding my ribs, kind of, after receiving that slam attack, probably a couple of them broken, I'll move up to this other creature, and I'll just reach out a hand and place it on its thigh or something, and just say, "Just get the fuck down," and I'll cast Shocking Grasp.
Ah, nice.
Which I get advantage on, I believe,
Yes,
because it's
it's
fully
metal.
made of metal.
Yes, you do take 2 points of fire damage.
Yeah.
Sorry,
But
Tani, I
that's
rolled low for
23 to
Jean-Jacques.
hit.
23 hits.
Yeah, and let me see, that's 2 damage.
Like me forgetting Barnack took 3 points of damage, and Tani took 1, and then punching him again. Like,
Boy. Oh boy, let me just double check, but oh boy, that was a bad roll. Yeah, that's 6 points of damage.
6 points of damage, oh no.
Yeah, and I took 6, I believe, right?
No, 2. You took 2 because I rolled
okay.
it 2.
Alright.
Yeah, that's the shock goes up its body and it begins to seize up, but it manages to break free of completely losing control of itself.
And then I'll be like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, and then I'll move here.
Okay. So it is. It does not have an attack of opportunity, but it does.
And
come
cannot
out.
take it until the beginning of its next turn. So,
Yeah. But it does start its turn now, and because it has Tani grappled, it is going to use its Brazen Bull ability, and it makes a slam attack against the target it is grappling, as it opens a plate in its chest and exposes its arcane boiler.
Oh no.
no.
If it
Don't
hits,
help
you are
somehow?
forced inside. Okay.
Oh my
So.
goodness.
No. No.
That's a natural 19.
Oh no.
Oh no, wait. I misread. Thank God. It's a 15 to hit. Does a 15 hit Tani? What's your AC?
Well, she did take the dodge action, so did you?
Oh yeah, true, with disadvantage.
16 armor class.
Okay, so it does definitely miss. Yeah, so that's its full action. Essentially, what happens, and I will say, because it's about to go to the top of the round, the steam is beginning to clear up, and you guys start to see what's happening, and you watch as it's physically trying to force Tani into an open plate on its chest, where it's trying to force you next to the boiler, and make you take an incredible amount of damage. But you are essentially, you've got your hands out, and you're just managing to push away. And because the plate is open, it's not dissipating the heat through the body, so you can actually hold on, and you just spread, trying to stop this thing from forcing you inside. Barnack, your turn.
Okay, so I will move here, and do I see that boiler open now?
Yes.
Okay. I will then shoot into that boiler or into its head or whatever I
Okay.
see fit to kill it.
Make your sharpshooter shot.
Yeah. So I will also designate it as my prey and probably curse in Dwarvish.
Okay.
Just a bit. That one is not going to hit. That one is 3 plus... Yeah, that's not going to hit. Second one is... just a second. So that's plus 4... 16. 16 hits, right?
16 hits. So you're aiming for the boiler, is that correct?
Well, I'm aiming to kill it, yeah. I'm aiming to...
Well, I need to know specifically if you're aiming for the boiler.
I'm aiming to...
It's what you said at the start when you attacked.
Yeah, I'm aiming at the boiler and
Okay.
like trying to hit it.
Okay. Sounds good.
I'm not trying to hit Tani though. Just
No.
so we're
No,
clear.
you're a sharpshooter. You have no trouble shooting past Tani.
Yeah. Okay.
In fact, it has no cover
come
from you at
out.
all, which makes it easier to hit for you.
That is one of the worst rolls I've ever had. That's a 3, and 14 is in total 17.
Yeah, it had 1 health.
Oh my god!
Tani, if you could please make a dexterity saving throw for me.
I knew it.
Yeah, and I understand what happens.
Wait, who, me?
Yes,
Yeah.
Tani, please. As
Tony's
the,
good at this.
as the fingers relax around you, you see an arrow, or rather, the arrow strikes the boiler in front of you, and the fingers relax around you, but the pressure is building, and it's about to explode.
19.
Okay. You take no damage from this, but essentially you manage to push yourself away right as the fingers open up, and you take a backwards leap, and you make a backflip, and you land just in time to duck, and all of you kind of duck, but it's not really that threatening if you're a bit further away, as the boiler just explodes, and there's just an outpouring of steam, even more than from the others because it wasn't contained within their body. And for a good minute or so, the whole room is just filled with this super hot steam, and you kind of have to move away into the other portion of the room to not be super uncomfortable by it. But you have defeated this wave of security forces, and next week we'll pick it up as you guys can take stock of the situation and ponder the beautiful furniture that you've destroyed.
Whoopsie! Janjak's the worst, man. They just go around people's houses and destroy their shit all the time.
Oh man.
You are really terrible. You're a menace.
I love it.
Jean-Jacques the
love it.
Menace. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for playing. Thank everyone for watching, especially Chris Harris, who hung out with us for most of the night. And, of course, a very early happy birthday to Simon's partner. We hope you guys have an amazing time. But in the meantime, we're very happy with how the session went, and we'll be back next week to see more of the Tower of Denos. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Mm.